So this is my final comm arts project besides the final exam, and I'm going to do something a little bit different because I want to review high school. On my own personal YouTube channel, I do a lot of reviews. I kind of wanted to take that idea, take the pros, take the cons, and take some advice / things to know for freshmen or just other people in high school and explain that and just put all my thoughts out there. I'm going to edit it a lot because I'm going to ramble, but it is what it is. Getting into the pros of high school. This is something that almost everyone learns in high school, and if not, they're going to learn it in college, and it's how not to manage time. Procrastination is a beautiful thing. I love it, but I also hate it because it just gives me anxiety not doing something. For example, putting this off till nearly 1 in the morning. I also learned time management. Comm arts mostly taught me this. Taking a fine art class, particularly something like band or comm arts, and sometimes even just the normal art class, will really get you into a mindset where you have to learn how to manage your time and be efficient with what you're doing. Something that I learned over the past year is that senior year is a breeze. Well, it can be a breeze anyway. Basically, if you don't take AP classes and you take personal finance, which is a class that my school offers, it's going to be super easy and really laid back, and the homework load is very little and everything's pretty nice. I really wish that a lot of the other years of high school, particularly freshman year and sophomore year, were more like senior year and a little bit more laid back because it's such a relief. Another pro of high school and a little bit of advice as well. If you talk to other people, maybe at lunch or in class, you will make new friends. I know I did. A friend, Michaela of mine, I really got to know this year, and she's one of my best friends now. And then my friend Logan, who him and I had our spouts back and forth for sure, but now we're pretty good friends. Kind of sad, but another pro is that in high school, you're forced to be yourself. Throughout middle school and high school, I've been bullied. Not so much in high school, but like freshman year and a little bit of sophomore year, and then all of middle school was pretty rough. You know, I got over that through other means, but I was kind of forced to deal with that, and I had to deal with learning how to be myself and not letting other people bring me down. And one of the good ways to do that is I chose to be myself and not associate with people who didn't accept me for who I am and gave me problems in everyday life. It was a way to get away from them, and it allowed me to be who I want. So my advice to you is dress how you want and act like you want, within reason. Don't be rude to everyone, but you get the idea. And in terms of dressing, I've noticed this with a lot of sophomores and freshmen. You don't have to dress nice every day. Like, people like high school, gotta make this great impression. I'm gonna wear, for girls, it's like, I'm gonna wear a dress every day, or dress like semi-formal every day. No one's gonna care what you wore. They might that day, but it's really not needed. And then the last pro, and this might not be a pro for everyone, I didn't have sports or clubs or activities, so I had free time to myself to enjoy my hobbies. That was something a lot of other people in my school can't say, because our school pushes clubs, sports, just other extracurriculars that just eat up all of your time. You know, I'm not saying that everyone needs to be like me and not do those things, but let's be honest, it's really nice to have time to yourself, and I think some people should realize that if they don't want to be in a sport or a club, you don't have to do it. So, just think about that. Here's some cons. This is where I'm literally just going to complain about high school. This has been a problem ever since I went in freshman year. Chromebooks. Chromebooks are awful. They're so bad. Plastic laptops that break at the lightest touch and can barely run Google Chrome. We have some Dell, my grade particularly has some Dell Chromebooks. They are so fragile. People have closed their Chromebooks too hard and the screen is shattered. People have leaned on them. People have put them on the ground and they've gotten stepped on, and that's kind of stupid, but you know, they break like really easy. Keys just fall off. The screens are plastic, so they get really dirty and there's nothing you can really do about it. They get imprints of the keyboard, which is a very interesting thing. But sometimes the cursors just disappear and you have to reboot it several times for your cursor to come back so you can actually use it. There's a lot of problems with those, and some teachers still haven't implemented them very well. They're supposed to get rid of paper, but none of our books are online. They're all still physical books. So like, what's the point? I don't know. Particularly in my school for freshmen and sophomores, there's a large, just asinine amount of homework, and it's really overbearing. It's a lot. And freshman year and sophomore year were easily my worst years of high school. Not necessarily for my grades, but for stress and like my mental state, they were really bad. And I would not wish that upon anyone. It's awful. And going along those same lines, some advice is don't be dumb freshman year. We get told constantly, freshman year is your most important year. If you slack, your GPA is going to tank. And it's true. I watch a lot of people's GPAs just go straight into the gutter. That kind of sets a precedent for how you're going to go through the rest of high school if you tank and then just decide it's not worth it anymore. Because getting your GPA up is a lot harder than you think. Another con is the stress of in-class assignments and other homework assignments. You really need to learn how to manage your stress and prioritize what to stress over. If you're someone who really cares about your grades, this is going to be difficult. For me personally, it took until halfway through junior year probably and senior year to just roll with it. You know, do my best, but not stress over every little assignment. You gotta learn. The only time I think you should really lose it over stress is the SAT. Some misconceptions that the SAT is the end of the world, and if you don't do well, it's going to close all the doors in your life. In reality, it's meant to open doors, not close them. Even if you do poorly on it, you can retake it for a fee, but you can retake it, even senior year. Teenage drama. Let's be honest, high school is full of drama. Just don't get involved, and your life will be so much easier. This is something that bothers me on a personal level. Phones. I get it. I'm a teenager. I love to be on my phone. But what I don't understand is the need to pull it out during class and be using the Snapchats and the TikToks. Makes me feel so old, by the way. I'm 18 and I feel so old talking about these apps. You don't need to send your streaks in the middle of class because that's a thing that people do. They send pictures to people who don't want pictures in order to get a higher score. I don't understand Snapchat. Just let's not pull your phone out during class. Just, listen to the material, do your assignments, and then you won't have to be complaining that the teacher doesn't teach and you didn't learn anything. Just saying. Another problem that comes with high school and just being a teenager in general is the lack of sleep. That's something that people have to deal with, especially me. We don't talk about that. Another problem with high school in general, and this is not just my school, this is every high school, is the emphasis on having to go to college or having to go to the military. Let's be honest here. You don't, albeit you'll have better chances of getting a well-paying job or a more secure job, but you don't have to go to college or the military. There are trade schools for things like welding or electrical work. People don't talk about those very often, but that is very much an option for those people who are interested in that. You don't have to go to college to be in the entertainment industry. You don't have to go to college to be an influencer, which I hate that term, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be in college to do YouTube videos, which is something that I'm going to pursue after high school. You don't have to do that. And you really don't have to have that. That's all up here. If you're consistent and you have the drive, you don't have to go to college. And another con of high school is just not liking it because of all the things I said before. Honestly, it can be such a drain. And high school kind of does suck sometimes. And for me, it wasn't until senior year where I kind of felt comfortable enough to actually not hate it. I still dislike it greatly, but it's not the worst. Some other advice and things to know. Take personal finance. If your school offers it, I know my school does. It helps you getting into the adult world. Taxes, insurance, saving, banking, investing, all of those things are super important. And it's not the most in-depth class, at least the way my school teaches it, but it is very good things to learn and know. For incoming freshmen, there's no such thing as freshman kill day. It just doesn't exist. People will pretend, maybe if you have like a older sister or brother or friends, they'll pretend like it's freshman kill day and they'll give you a hard time. It's not a thing, at least not at my school. And that being said, don't be afraid of the seniors if you're a freshman or a sophomore. We're all really around the same age here. Seniors are winging it just as much as the freshmen are. they're just at a different point in their life. They're still trying to figure things out. They may think that they have their life set, and things could change at a snap of their fingers. This last piece of advice is something that I hate. This would go in the con section, but it's just so important. It has to be its own little advice section. When you're walking down the hallways of your high school, it's like a road. Stay on the right side of the hallway, at least if you're in the US. It's really simple. Walk through the right side of double doors. Walk down the right side of the hallway. It's how traffic works on roads, and it's how traffic should work in the hallways. It makes it so much easier if everyone follows that. Then if someone's walking in the wrong direction, you don't have to play that game where you shift side to side a million times. They're not that big. 4 people across the hallway blocks the entire hallway, especially if there's people at their lockers. It doesn't work like that. There will be some things I miss about high school. I will miss comm arts, even though at this point I'm burnt out. The people were the best part of that class, honestly. Getting to know other people, working with other people, I enjoyed that a lot. And I will miss a few of my teachers. My comm arts teacher, Mr. Smith, obviously I'm gonna have to miss him. That's what an interesting class and what an interesting guy. My Spanish teacher, Senior Dahlman, very funny, very sarcastic, a lot like me and my friends. He would definitely have been in our friend group if he was in high school with us. My 10th grade chemistry teacher, Mr. Rathje, very funny, a little awkward, but he really knew how to make a class interesting, and I think he did a lot of stuff to entertain himself and other people who got a sense of humor. In my 11th grade AP World History teacher, Mrs. Saha, amazing teacher, again, very sarcastic, and because of how young she was in comparison to a lot of other teachers at the school, she really understood how to just say things in a simple way and simplify things down and make the concept, everything in the class really easy to digest. And then she's just really funny and a great person. And then my 11th grade English teacher, Mrs. Herhuth, is the nicest person on the planet, and the teacher I will talk to most and probably talk to out of high school as well. She's super great. Also very funny. I'm looking forward to moving on into being an adult. You know, I want to do something with my life and do a job where for 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day, I'm doing something I love and not sitting in a classroom. You know, doing YouTube is kind of that. I think I would rate high school maybe a 6 out of 10, something like that. There's some very entertaining parts, but overall, it's just a little awful. So on the whole, am I going to miss high school? No. But it was a time of my life that really shaped who I am.